Friends, how are you all? I hope you are all doing well today. So, students, let us recall what we have learned in previous classes. Okay, so can you tell me, yes, what is can you tell me sign convention in first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant? It's a Cartesian system. Okay, x axis and y axis. So now tell me, students, sign of first quadrant. Sign in first quadrant, second, third, and fourth. Yes, correct. First quadrant, that is plus plus. Second quadrant, yes, minus plus. Third quadrant, yes, minus minus. And fourth quadrant, that is plus and minus. Okay, so it's a sign convention of Cartesian system. Okay, okay, now let's start today's class and learn something new. So here, yes, we have one situation here. You can see, yes, the passengers are waiting for yes auto. So what would be the fare in traveling from Banjara Hills to Golconda Fort? So the driver say yes, it costs rupees 200. Okay. Now, so one more, yes, one more auto driver comes and yes, see asking what would be the fare in the traveling from Banjara Hills to Golconda Fort. So, so yes, it costs rupees 100. Driver says it costs rupees 100. Now, yes, now here one passenger here, they are waiting, and now you can see here Banjara Hills to Golconda Fort. So auto fare rupees 75 here. Okay, they book taxi and yes from Golconda, Banjara Hills to Golconda. So here we have two cases. Case one, the cost of yes, traveling is rupees 100, and in the second case that is rupees 75. So here we draw both the situation in graph paper like this. You can see here the graph that estimates the taxi fare. Okay, so here how much does it cost for Sandeep to travel 5 kilometer in taxi? So can you tell me? Yes, see the graph and yes, you can tell me the answer. How much does it cost for Sandeep to travel 5 kilometer in taxi? So here you can see 5 kilometer on the x-axis, that is 5 kilometer, and yes 5 kilometer, and the distance is yes 90 kilometer. Okay, yes 5 kilometer and 90 rupees. Okay, so how far Sandeep can travel in a taxi for rupees 100? Yes, so 400 here you can see on the y-axis the number rupees 100 here, and on the x-axis that is 6.3. Okay, so 6.3 kilometer the Sandeep can travel in a taxi. Okay, okay, now it's question time and I have a question for you. The coordinate of a point whose y coordinate is 6 and x coordinate is minus 2 is, and yes, I am giving you 30 seconds. So which option is correct here? 3 comma 1, 6 comma minus 2, minus 2 comma 6, and minus 1 comma 3. Yes, yes, so times of student, the right answer is Here you can see y coordinate is 6 and x coordinate is -2. So we can write -2 comma 6. That is option C here, -2 comma 6. Okay, remember always first point, first value is x coordinate and second value is y coordinate. We can say first value is abscissa also. Okay, so abscissa and ordinate. Here first point is x coordinate and second point is y coordinate. Okay, so remember always. Yes, so option C is right answer here. Okay, now let's move the next part. So here we have one more situation here, one more example. Okay, so here you can see if the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, so what is the temperature in Fahrenheit? So yes, 30 degrees Celsius, and now you can see the relation between Fahrenheit scale and Celsius scale, that is F is equal to 9 by 5 C plus 32, where F is Fahrenheit scale and C is Celsius scale. Okay, so now you can see thermometer here. Okay, 30 degrees Celsius in degrees Celsius, so the temperature in Fahrenheit will be, yes, now we can solve the problem. Okay, so here C, the value of C is 30 degree, so here Fahrenheit is equal to 86 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so remember this formula, F is equal to 9 by 5 C plus 32. So this is a relation between F and C, Fahrenheit scale and Celsius scale. So when we put C equal to 30 in the equation, so we can find out the value of F here, that is 86 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, yes, you can see the scale here, 86 degree Fahrenheit. Now if the temperature is 86 degree Fahrenheit, so what is the temperature in Celsius? So again, the relation between F and C, you can see 9 by 5 C plus 32. So here we will find the value of FC here. So put the value of F. So F will C is equal to, yes, 30 degree here. Okay, 86 minus 32 is equal to 9 by 5C, then again 9 by 5C is equal to 54, and the value of C is, yes, 54 into 5 by 9, and yes, 6 5 is 30. So 6 C is equal to 30 degree Celsius. Okay, so when temperature is 86 degree Fahrenheit, so the temperature in Celsius will be 30 degree Celsius. Okay, yes. So if the temperature is 86 degree Fahrenheit, so what is the temperature in Celsius? So that is, yes, that is 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, now the situation we can represent the graph paper. Okay, graph of temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit, you can see. So if the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, so what is the temperature in Fahrenheit? Yes, that is 86 degree Fahrenheit. Now you can see the relation between F and C here. Okay, so Fahrenheit scale and Celsius scale. Okay, Celsius scale. Okay, so here when temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, you can see, so the temperature in Fahrenheit will be 86 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, yes, it's a Celsius. Okay, remember it's a Celsius on the x-axis. X-axis represent Celsius scale here, and y-axis represent Fahrenheit scale. Okay, yes, and when if the temperature is 86 degree Fahrenheit, so what is the temperature in Celsius? So yes, that is 30 degree Celsius. Okay, okay, now linear graph. So what is linear graph? Yes, you can see the straight line on the graph paper. Okay, it's a straight line. So straight line means that is a linear. Okay, and linear graph. So a line graph which is a whole Unbroken line is called a linear graph. Yes, you can see both the example here. Both are straight line and unbroken line here. Okay, so a line graph which is a whole unbroken line is a called it's called a linear graph here. Yes. Okay, now it's question time, and I have a question for you. So the difference between the y coordinates of A and C is, now tell me the difference between A and C. Okay, and it's a graph paper, you can see that point A and the point C. So yes, the difference between the y coordinates of A and C, and I'm giving you 30 seconds, 35 seconds here. Okay, so tell me the correct, which option is correct here. Yes, option A, option B, option C, and option D. 3, 4, 2, and 0. Yes. So students, first we will find the coordinate of point A and the coordinate of point C. Okay. So coordinate of y coordinates of point A and C will be, yes. Okay, so times up student, the right answer is here you can see the point A. So the coordinate of point A, that is 3 comma 6. Yes, you can see sorry, 2 comma 6 here, 2 comma 6. So 2 comma 6, and coordinates of point C, that is 6 and, yes, 6 comma 3. Okay, 6 comma 3. Now the difference between the y coordinates of A and C. So y coordinate is here, you can see y coordinate 6 and here 3. Okay, so 6 minus 3, that is equal to 3. So option A is right answer here. Okay, option A. Yes, correct. Okay. Okay, now let's move the next part, students. So draw the graph for the following tables of values with suitable scales on the axis. Okay, so here we have a table. You can see number of apples here and cost in rupees. Okay, so students, let's do it. Let's try to make draw a graph. Okay, yes. So here the graph paper. Now first, what will we do? Yes, first we draw x-axis and y-axis on the graph paper like this. Okay, the horizontal line, that is x-axis, and yes, x-axis, and vertical line, that is y-axis. Okay, then yes, the scale is, you can see the suitable scale on the axis. So x-axis is equal to 2 units for 1, and y-axis, that is 2 units for 5. Yes, 1 and 5. You can choose any scale. Okay, so according to you. Yes, so number of apples, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on the x-axis we can represent number of apples. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the y-axis, yes, that is the cost of apples, cost in rupees. Okay, now first apple, the cost is 5 rupees. So for 1 and 5, the point will be, yes, between, you can see, 1 and 5. Okay, yes. Then second, 2 for 10. So here 2 and y coordinate, that is 10. So 2 comma 10, that points. 3 comma 15, yes, so 3 and 15. So on the x-axis, yes, 3 and taking height 15 here. Okay, so 15 here. Now on the x-axis, 0.4, so taking height 20. Okay, and like this similarly you can see 5 to 20, 25. Okay, yes. Now we can draw, we can join all the points, and you can see it's a straight line. Okay, yes. Okay, now it's question time, and I have a question for you. So in the following graph, the distance covered in 5 seconds is, yes, and you can see the graph here. Okay, now tell me the answer, which option is correct here. Option A 40 meter, option B 25 meter, option C 30 meter, and option D 15 meter. And yes, I am giving you 30 seconds, sorry. Okay, so the distance covered in 5 seconds. Okay, you can see on the x-axis represents times in seconds, and the y-axis represents distance in meters here. So tell me the distance covered in 5 seconds. So read the graph paper. Okay, read the graph paper carefully, and now then tell me the answer. Okay students, so times up, the right answer is, yes, you can see here 5 seconds. Okay, distance covered in 5 seconds. So here the 5 seconds on the x-axis you can see, and yes, 5 seconds. So here the distance is, yes, 25 meter. Okay, so the right answer is option B, 25 meter. Okay, okay, very good. Now let's move the next part. Now distance traveled by a car. Okay, so here you can see the table here, times and distance. So 6 a.m. the distance is 40 kilometer, 7 a.m. distance is 80 kilometer, 8 a.m. 120, and 9 a.m. 160 kilometers. Now represent the yes, draw the graph here. Okay, for this particular situation. So here first we will draw two mutually perpendicular lines, x-axis and y-axis. Yes, horizontal line is, yes, horizontal line is x-axis, and vertical line, yes student, it's a y-axis. So x-axis and y-axis. So first we draw x-axis and y-axis on the graph paper. Then after, yes, taking a suitable scale here. So x-axis 3 units for 1 hour, and y-axis 3 units is equal to 40 kilometer. Okay, now on the x-axis, so you can see the x-axis represents time here, time in hours, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and 9 a.m. And on the y-axis, so we write 40, 80, 120, 160. It's a distance. Okay, distance in kilometer. Yes, x-axis represents time and y-axis represents distance in kilometer. Now one by one you can plot the point. So 6 a.m. and 40 kilometer. So here 6 a.m. where is 6? Yes, on the x-axis, and 40. So 40. Okay. Then next one, 7 to 80. So where is 7? On the x-axis you can see 7. Okay, and taking height 80. Okay, yes, so 80. Then next one, yes, 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. 8 a.m. 120 kilometers. So 8 a.m. and 1 taking height 120 kilometer, and 9 a.m. taking height, yes, 160 kilometer. So here you can see all 4 points. 6 to 40, yes, 6 to 40 here, 7 to, yes, 80. Now the coordinates of third point, that is 8 to 120, and yes, 9 to 160. Okay, yes. Now join the all points, and you can see it's a straight line, linear graph. Okay. So how much distance did the car cover during the period 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m.? So student, can you tell me? Yes, see the graph paper, read the graph paper, and tell me the answer. Yes, how much distance did the car cover during the period 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m.? Yes, 7:30. Yes, 7:30 a.m. Yes, you can see here 7 and 8. So 7:30. to 8 am. Okay, 7:30 to 8 am. So the distance will be here for 7:30. So 7:30 is 100 kilometer and 8 am that is 120 kilometer 120 kilometer. So that means the difference between 120 and 100. So that is 20. So that means 7:30 and during the period 7:30 am and to 8 am the car travel, yes, 20 kilometers. 120 minus 100, 20 kilometer. Yes. Okay, now students, we have one more question here and tell me the answer. Okay, so what was the time when the car had covered a distance of 100 kilometers since its start? Can you tell me? So what was the time when the car had covered a distance of 100 kilometers since its start? So here 100 kilometer. Okay, so here 100 kilometer, the time is 7:30. Yes, 7:30 am. So and the car start travel at 6 am. So 7:30. Okay, so the answer is 7:30 am. Okay, now it's question time and I have a question for you. So if we join minus 2 comma minus 2 minus 1 comma minus 1 1 comma 1 and 3 comma 3, then we obtain. Okay, so option A, straight line that does not pass through the origin. Option B, a straight line parallel to the x-axis. Option C, straight line that passes through the origin. And option D, a rectangle. So which option is correct here? Yes, I am giving you 40 seconds. Okay, so which option is correct here? If we join all the coordinates, all the points, minus 2 comma minus 2 minus 1 comma minus 1 1 comma 1 and 3 comma 3. Yes, we join minus 2 comma minus 2 minus 1 comma minus 1 1 comma 1 and 3 comma 3. Yes, so here students you can see that both the coordinates, x coordinate and y coordinate, so all both coordinates are same here. Okay, both coordinates is equal, are equal here. Minus 2 comma minus 2, that means x is equal to y here. Similarly x is equal to y, the coordinate of x is equal to coordinate of y. So that means yes, the straight line that passes through the origin, because the coordinate of origin will be 0 comma 0. Yes, so that means x coordinate is equal to y coordinate here. So straight line that passes through the origin, it's a option C, that is a right answer here. Straight line that passes through the origin. Okay, so the right answer is option C. Okay, so now let's move the next part. So interest on deposits for a year. So here deposit and you can see simple interest. So it's a table, deposit and simple interest. When deposit rupees 1000, so simple interest is rupees 80, 2000 160, 3000 240, for 4000 320 and 5000 that is 400. So yes, now we draw a graph. So here first we draw x-axis and y-axis. Okay, both are perpendicularly mutually perpendicular here. Yes, now taking suitable scale, x-axis 3 units is equal to 1000 and y-axis that is 2 units is equal to rupees 80. Now on the x-axis, so we represent deposits. Okay, that is 1000 2000 3000 4000 and 5000. And on the y-axis, so we represent simple interest, that is 80 160 240 320 and 4000. Okay, yes, now draw the point here, locate the point first. So 1000, you can see simple interest is rupees 80. So yes, on the x-axis you can see 1000 and taking height 80. So first point, that is 1080. Now second point, 2160. So 2160. So on the x-axis 2000, and you can see one taking height 160 here. So the coordinates 2000 and 160. Now third one, 3240. So here 3000 and 240. Now 4000 and 320, and next one 5000 and 400. So you can see all 5 points here. Now join the all points and you can see it's a linear graph, straight line. So does the graph pass through the origin? Yes. Yes or no? Can you tell me? Does the graph pass through the origin? Yes, you can see, students, the origin here 0 comma 0. So yes. And yes, we have one more question. Use the graph to find the interest on rupees 2500 for a year. Yes. So student, can you tell me, use the graph to find the interest rupees 2500 for a year? Yes. So where is 2500 on the x-axis? Yes, it's between 2000 and 3000. Now taking yes, you can see, draw a line like this, and between 160 and 240, that is 200. So 200 rupees. So interest on rupees 2500 for a year is rupees 200. Okay. Now to get an interest of rupees 280 per year, how much money should be deposited? So first we find 280 rupees on the y-axis here. Okay. So 280, that is between 240 and 320. So here 280. Now draw a line, and yes, you can see between 3000 and 4000, that is rupees 3500. Okay. So rupees 3500. Okay, now it's question time. A line graph which is a whole unbroken line is called a, so yes, here I am giving you 30 seconds. Option A, linear graph. Option B, pie chart. Option C, histogram. And option D, bar graph. So which option is correct here? Yes, a line graph which is whole unbroken line is called a linear graph, pie chart, histogram, or bar graph. Yes, okay, students, time's up. The right answer is yes, linear graph. Okay, a line graph which is a whole unbroken line is called a linear graph. Okay, so option A is right answer here. Yes, okay, very good. Now let's move the next part. So draw a linear graph with the data given in the following table. Now here we have a table here, principal and interest. So principal is rupees 200, 500, 1000 and 1500, and now you can see simple interest, that is 20, 50, 100 and 150. Now so yes, answer the following with the help of graph. Okay, so we have two question here. What will be the interest for rupees 200, and what will the corresponding principal for the interest of rupees 120? So now student, first we draw a graph. Okay, so here on the graph paper, first we draw two mutually perpendicular line, horizontal line, that is x-axis, and vertical line, that is y-axis. Okay, now here taking a suitable scale. Okay, so x-axis 2 units is rupees 20 here, and y-axis 2 units, that rupees 200 here. So first on the x-axis, yes, so we draw 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, that is a simple interest. So x-axis represents simple interest here, and on the y-axis, yes, y-axis represents principal. Okay, that is 200, 500, 1000 and 1500. So on the axis you can see y axis 2 units is rupees 200. So first we take 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200 and 1400, 1600 on the y axis. Now plot the points. So here principal 200 and simple interest is rupees 20. So first you can see on the x-axis point rupees 20. Now taking height 200. Okay, so first point will be 20 and 200. Now second point 500 and 50. So 500 and 50. So on the x-axis first we will find point 50 here. So between 40 and 60 you can see point 50. So now taking height 500. Okay, between 600 and 400 you can see 500. Now yes, so that is point yes, second point. Now third point will be 100 and 1000. So on the x-axis first we find 100. Now taking height 1000 and yes, we can draw third point like this, 100 and 1000. Then next one 150 and 1500. So 150, between 140 and 160 you can see 150. Now taking height 1500 like this, and 1500 between 1500 is between 1400 and 1600. So here now the point is yes, 50 and 1500. Now join all 4 points here. Okay, so when we join all 4 points like this, so you can see it's a straight line, that means linear graph. So what will be the interest for rupees 400? Now you can you tell me the answer? What will be the interest for rupees 400? Yes. So here 400 rupees 400. So first we find rupees 400 on the y-axis. So here 400. Okay. Now taking a perpendicular line on the y-axis like this, and here you can see where the line cuts our straight line. So that is point 40. So that means yes, the interest is rupees 40 here. Okay, so the interest will be rupees 40. Now second question, what is the corresponding principal for interest of rupees 120? So students, can you tell me the answer? Yes, okay, find out the principal here. Okay, yes. So interest of rupees 120. So on the x-axis first we find point 120. So you can see 120 here. Now draw perpendicular line like this, and where the line cuts our straight line, then draw a another line parallel to the x-axis, and here you can see the line cuts the on the y-axis here point 1200. So that means the principal amount will be rupees 1200 here. Okay, yes. Okay, now students, one more question here. So cubic values of some numbers are given in the following table. So draw a graph. So here you can see number and cubic number. So number 2, 3, 4 and 5, and their cubes are 8, 27, 64 and 125. So now first we draw x-axis and y-axis like this, taking suitable scale like x-axis 2 units is equal to 1 and y-axis 2 units is equal to 20. Now yes, on the x-axis represent the number here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and on the y-axis represents cubic numbers like 8, 27, 64 and 125. Okay, so cubic number on the y-axis and x-axis represents numbers. Okay, now one by one we plot the point. So here first point is 2 comma 8. Yes, 2 comma 8. So on the axis you can see point 2. Now taking height 8. So here 2 comma 8. Okay, 2 comma 8. Now next one, 3 comma 27. So 3 comma 27. So on the x-axis, you can see point 3. Now taking height 27. So 3 comma 27. Now next one for 4 comma 64. So yes, 4 on the x-axis, taking height 64 from the point 4. Okay, so 4 and 64. Next one, 5 comma 125. So on the x-axis, you can see point 5 and taking height 125. So here the point will be 5 comma 125, that is here. So yes, so we have plot all 4 points here. Now when we join all 4 points, so is this a linear graph? Yes. No, it's not a linear graph. You can see when we join all 4 points, so it's not a straight line. Okay, so that means no, it is not a linear graph. Okay. Okay, now students, it's a value-based question. So Arshita, a hard-working student, finds a subject challenging. One day she finds a website with ready-made essays. So it seems like an essay way out, but she knows it's not the right thing to do. So one evening, facing a tight deadline, Arshita thinks about what to do. She understands that choosing the right path is not just about grades but also about values. So Arshita speaks to her teacher, explaining her struggles and asking for help. So what quality did Arshita exhibit here? So which option is correct here according to you, because it's a value based question. So yes, integrity, resilience, honesty and scientific temper. So which option is correct according to you? Yes. Okay, students, so time's up. The right answer is option B. Okay. Okay. Okay, now it's a feedback question. How do you feel? So I'm giving you 25 seconds. So students, today we have discussed how to represent graph paper, a straight line graph, that is a linear graph. Okay, and we have draw some situation on graph paper. Okay, simple interest principle and all of that. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. Okay students, so it's time to over the class. I hope you enjoyed today's class. Keep practicing. Okay, and bye bye, take care, see you in the next class.